Hey guys, in this video, we're going to be setting up the sign up page that's going to allow users to be able to access Tasky. So now we're going to be setting up a sign up, login, and all of that. So first thing we need to do is to create a form that handles that. All right, to create a form, we're going to be using a package called Formik. So to add that, just do yarn add Formik. Same thing if you're using npm I Formik and all of that. That should be done in a couple of seconds. And then I'm just going to run yarn dev. And then I'm going to create a path to that, which is /register. All right, even if sign up is going to be written on it, but I want it to be /register. So I'm just going to Ctrl C, Ctrl V, which is copy paste. And I'm going to rename this to register. All right. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to take out this head. I'm going to change this to an arrow function. I like arrow functions. I don't know how that particular non-arrow function got in there, but I've always loved arrow functions since I started using them some years back. All right, so now I'm just going to export defaults. What is the default here? Register. All right, sweet. And here I'll be importing like a form wrapper so that we don't have to keep on creating components over and over again. I'm just going to create it once and then reuse it wherever I need to do it. So the form wrapper I'm about to create is a wrapper that is going to wrap any form that comes in any of the authentication strings, sign up, login, and all of that. All right. So I'm just going to come to yarnlock, which is the file I know that's always in the root repository. And I'm going to click on that, then click on create a folder. I'm going to create a folder called layouts. All right. And then in the layouts folder, I'm going to create another folder called forms. And in the form folder, I'm going to create a file called auth form layout, which is authentication form layouts. All right. So I don't have to keep on repeating this over and over. All right. That's one thing experience teaches you over time. So ROAFCE, run that and it creates this automatically. So I'm going to be passing in a prop that represents anything you wrap around this auth form layout. So that prop is called children. And just for you to see what I'm talking about, I'm going to create a h1 tag here. And that h1 tag is going to be, this is the head. And I'll save that. I'll bring in children. And then I'm going to create another h1 tag. I'm going to write this is the tail. All right, sweet. So all I'm going to do now is to go to the register file, and then I'm going to, you know, import that. So auth form, sorry, auth form layout. I'm going to put this, and then I'm just going to type in gibberish here. Now see what happens in our UI. So how do we get there? Just take out everything here, and then let's say register. And if we run save this, so you see it comes in the middle, exactly the same position we wanted it to be, just so you know. So now let's go and style this. So right here at the top, let's bring in styled components. So before that, let's create a wrapper, const form wrapper. I just hope we're able to finish before time is up. Form wrapper, which is styled dot div. All right, I'm just going to put a background color red, and right here I'm going to say form wrapper. Down here wrapper. All right, that should give a dramatic change to everything here. All right, next thing we want to do is let's just set up Formik so that when we come back here, we'll have a smooth ride. So right here, I'm going to say, let's import Formik. So Formik, all right, close that up. Now Formik takes in a function, like a functional component. So it's not just like you're going to pass in things like that. It takes in a functional component. So take note of this. I'll put my curly brackets. Then I'm meant to do like an arrow function, all right? It's also going to take in something that will be returned, all right? So this is the easiest way to remember it. So I just like to put H1. H1 is always a good way to remind yourself that something is still okay, all right? Yeah. All right. Then on this side, all right, I'm going to take in this where my arguments are going to come in. I'm going to destructure. I want to destructure things like handle change, on change, all this kind of stuff. All right. So I'm not going to do that right now. I'm going to come back to it. All right. And then this is what we have on this side. And I'm going to go back to the auth form controller because that's where it's in auth form layout. All right. So first of all, I want to give it a width that isn't too crazy. So width 450 pixels, that's what I want it to be. It's going to stay on one side of the screen, but that doesn't matter, but because I want it to assign self, align, what did I say? Align self. I hope this works. Center. Yeah, it works. So good. Let's now create what we want the head to be like. I'm going to create a div, and this div is going to take in a class name of head. Okay, let's just call it form head. All right. We may not go so much in this, but that's fine. I'm going to come here and say dot form head, and let's just give it a background color of purple. All right, and then I'm going to say width 100%, padding 0.5 rem, 0.5 sweep. And then here we're just going to pass in I would like to call it a p tag, and I'm going to say title. Here I'm going to pass in another prop called title. All right, and then right here in our register, I'll pass in the prop called title. I'm going to say sign up. So it's not always going to be this way, but you can just change the color to, I don't know, whatever. I'll just change the font color itself. All right. So the main thing before we leave, let's just call some of the Formik props. So Formik takes props like on submit, which is like what should happen when you click on submit, which is literally going to be calling our endpoint in this case, and then what the initial values should be, initial values, which in this case we're just going to put an empty object. We're going to come back to this video and have a part 2 of it because this is already so much. Or I'm just going to create what the sign up form is going to look like behind the scenes, since you're always going to have access to this UI, all right, to this code on GitHub, and then we can continue from there when the form is done. See you guys in the next video.